It was in the middle of summer. We left on July 2nd. No, day one, we already knew that the end goal was China. And they were just normal bicycles. And actually, we bought them secondhand. Yeah, we entered Czech Republic in the direction of Prague. And I think somewhere around the border it was also that we hit our first 1,000 kilometer mark.
Okay. Welcome to the program. Today we will discuss with Anton how the journey began. There is always first meter to the journey of thousands of kilometers. Welcome to the program, Anton.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, Anton, you can see this map at my back, like when you started your journey from Antwerp. How was it like when the day when you announced your journey and just before taking up the journey, what was the atmosphere like? What did you do and how the journey began?
So we actually lived towards the point of leaving Belgium for maybe 8 months, 9 months. So we had all saved up money, and we didn't really go out too often anymore. We tried to save all our money to go on the trip. And in the months before, we were gathering all these things like the cycling bags and rain jackets and stuff for the winter, and like a lot of things. We even, I think, had a catapult with marbles to, we thought to go hunting, but that never happened, of course. But we had a lot of like books and frisbees and board games and everything in our bags. And then the first day when we left, of course, was great. The weather was very, very good. It was very sunny. It was in the middle of summer. We left on July 2nd. And yeah, as soon as we left, we had our speakers with music on. My uncle and Steph's dad, they also cycled the first 80 kilometers with us. So on the first day, I think we did 120 kilometers, something like this. And then when we slept, we had our hammocks, we had our tents. So we slept by the side of the canal to sleep comfortably in the middle of nature between the trees.
So that was Netherlands, the first night.
No, we actually wanted to get to the Netherlands in the first day, but I think we ended up maybe like 20 kilometers before the border because we were all so tired of cycling 35 kilometers with 35 kilograms of weight on our bicycles, and we weren't really used to cycling that much. So yeah, we were all very tired, and we thought we could reach the Netherlands, but that was for day 2.
Yeah, and that was like the first time you were staying in wilderness.
No.
Okay, you had.
No, we were in the Boy Scouts, so we did go in the wilderness very often. We did go camping, but always trips for maybe a weekend or 3 days, something like this. So yeah.
So when like you started your journey and you had a look at the map, what was the feeling like that so many miles still ahead? Were you excited, or were you like there was an anxiety or stress? What were the
There
feelings?
definitely was no stress or anxiety. We actually, when we made the plan, we just looked at the map and saw, okay, how far can we go? What's the furthest we can go? And we really left with them, or I at least left with the mentality of, okay, we're going to China and I'm never coming back. That was the idea. Like, I'm just going and see what I can explore. So yeah, no, day one, we already knew that the end goal was China, and there were going to be a lot of hurdles to take on the way there. But it didn't matter because we knew that however, whatever came across our ways, we would just find a way to go over it or around it or under it or through it if necessary.
So it was very good faith in yourself, confidence, and you were focused on the aim. That is, I think, that was something that kept you going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have a goal. It was very clear. The only thing we needed to know what was that we have to go east. And
Okay.
the first days we made some jokes about it, like asking people, "Hey, you know the way to China? Can you point in the direction of China?" But yeah, no, it was for us. It was clear that we were going east, and if there were visa problems, we would have to take a different route. If there was snowstorms or if it was too hot or whatever, we would find a way. So yeah, it was a nice feeling actually to know like very clearly what we were going to do in the next year, and then we were just ready to enjoy the ride, you know.
Okay. So you didn't have all the visas with you before leaving. You even applied for the
No, no,
visas as
no.
you.
No, there's a lot of visas that you have to ask. Uh, so you ask the embassy for the visa, and then they approve it, and then you can use it in the next month after the approval. So
Okay.
there were a
Okay.
lot of visas that we had to research how we needed to do it, but we couldn't do it in advance. For example, Turkmenistan, which is somewhere at the end of the trip, um, we knew that we had to ask for the visa in Iran, and that we had to fill out some certain forms, and that we would need some help to get it done properly. But of course, in the first months, that didn't bother us too much, because in Europe we didn't need any visas except for Albania, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
So
so
yeah.
like it's also a very challenging thing that you were not sure about the time that when you will be where, and then you have to seek visas also. Okay, that's also I think a very
Yeah.
very big challenge, like to get visas on time and all. So then you crossed Netherlands. Netherlands is neighbor, and you had been like visiting Netherlands all the time. So you didn't want to stay in Netherlands then after first night.
We did actually. We stayed one night in the Netherlands because Yuri and Oli were having problems with their knees because we did so much on the first day that their knees started to hurt. But yeah, it was familiar territory. All of Europe was familiar territory. We had seen Czech Republic, we had seen Hungary, we had seen Croatia. So it wasn't anything new, except that since we were on the bicycle, we really had the time to experience it. Usually when you go to a country by car, you drive 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, and you are at a touristic site. And for us, driving 100 kilometers, it was a long day of cycling, or a lot of energy that we needed to use. So when we traveled 100 kilometers, we would stop at least 4 or 5 times to, when we were in the Netherlands, we came across some fields with beans. So we would stop and pick some beans for the dinner.
Oh, great.
As soon as we entered Germany, there were a lot of, it was summer, so there were a lot of cherry trees. So we would stop regularly to pick some cherries, or apples weren't ripe yet, but there were a lot of fruits and vegetables that we could find along the road. Some of them in gardens, some of them in farmers area. But yeah, it was nice to go slow and look around and take our time to have breaks, even if it's just a toilet break, or go to the supermarket for a little snack, or to just swim or whatever. It was really nice that you get to see the local stuff as well, not only the big cities and the tourist attractions, but also meet people on the parking lot of the supermarket, for example, and they would ask, "Hey, what you're doing?" And then you get to talking, and before you know it, they ask you to come camp in their yard or whatever. So yeah, I really liked the first months a lot
Mhm.
because people in Germany were really, really friendly. They would
Mhm.
offer us food all the time. They always had some suggestions for parties, or we met a volleyball team once. They wanted to play volleyball with us all day, so we stayed there a whole day. So it was really, the cycling was a way of transportation, but we were always keeping our eyes open to meet people and do other activities than transportation.
Yeah, that is, I think I am also learning a lot from you that when you are on a bicycle, then you can go into the areas where you usually don't go, and you have more chances of meeting local people and enjoy like the time the way you want. And you had new bicycles, right? They were power bicycles, or they were just normal bicycles?
They were just normal bicycles, and actually we bought them secondhand, so they weren't new. There was a guy in the Netherlands that sold us four bicycles that had been used quite a bit. My bicycle personally was a lady's bicycle,
Mm-hmm.
a Koga Miata travel lady, it was called. So there were bicycles specifically for traveling, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, they were used and they had some technical issues regularly. So it was, yeah, we had to repair them every now and then. But in the first months, it wasn't really a big problem. It's only as soon as we started going towards Central Asia and Eastern Asia that it really became a problem, that the bicycles weren't that new.
Yeah, more difficult roads and more like climbing up.
Yeah, and also difficult roads, not really, but in China, there's a lot of roads where there's little pieces of iron on the road
Mm-hmm.
because car tires, if they have an accident or the car tire explodes, they will leave these like tiny little pieces of the inside of the tire. And whenever we would drive over those little pieces, we just go through our tires. And I think that those pieces are being cleaned more in Europe than, for example, in China.
Okay. And then in Germany, the highways are good. And in Netherlands, there's a big tradition of cycling. How about in Germany? Do they
Yeah, yeah.
do a
So
lot?
there's a lot of European countries where people cycle a lot. I think Germany is one of those places. They have a lot of cycling routes with signs clearly saying you can take this route, you can take that route. It even says how many kilometers to the next town and everything. And we saw a lot of people, mostly older people, like 50, 60 or older, that were cycling these paths and really like enjoying a day in the sun. Uh, of course, for us it was different because we were like living on these cycling paths. But yeah, it was nice to see that there was such an intense culture, and the roads were really, really good. And also, it was a calm way of going through the country because we didn't really have to worry about cars too much.
Okay. So in Germany, which cities you entered and which city you exited, like on your route, maybe you went
I'll take Google Maps.
to some small village near the borders
Yeah,
of Netherlands.
it's some small village. You can see it on the map if you would zoom in,
Yeah,
but
yeah, sure.
I'll look on Google Maps for myself right now.
Okay.
So yeah, we went there and then there. Um, we entered in the area of yeah, let's say Düsseldorf, like something
Hmm.
like this. And then we just went east. We didn't go through Düsseldorf because it's too big, and we didn't really like to be in the cities too much because it was really hard to find a place to camp. We did it a couple
Yeah,
times, but
yeah.
we had to like sleep in the national or in the parks of the city, and then the police comes to complain, and it's really like it's messy. Um, but yeah, essentially we went through Germany, west to east, directly from Antwerp.
Okay. And then you said that in Germany the experience was very good, and people, you said that they were very friendly. And I mean,
They really were, yeah. Yeah, I do have to admit though, it really helped that I speak quite a bit of German, and
mhm.
I think Steph also speaks a little bit. So there was an easy way of communicating with the people in their own language. So that really helped to like start a conversation. We would go to a bar, have a beer, and just talk to some locals, and eventually they would point us in the right direction of a nice place to camp, or a nice attraction to do, or like a maybe a fun lake to swim in. So yeah, the people were really nice in Germany. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. And then from Germany you entered Czech Republic. Yeah, that was.
Yes, yeah. We entered Czech Republic in the direction of Prague. We went. I think we went through Zwickau towards Karlsbad. So
Mhm.
Zwickau is the last town in Germany, and then Karlsbad is the first one in Czech Republic. And I think somewhere around the border, it was also that we hit our first 1,000-kilometer mark.
Okay, okay.
So that was
One
really
month
like,
you did around 1,000 kilometers. A
yeah,
good achievement. Like when you covered 1,000 kilometers, it's some kind of a sense of achievement that you've done your first 1,000 kilometers.
yeah, it really was. It really was a first milestone where we were. I think there's even in the book there's a picture of us holding the
Yeah, yeah,
meter, showing that it was on 999.9. We didn't
yeah.
take a picture with 1,000 because yeah, we didn't want to stop 100 meters further. But yeah, we knew that Prague was the first big city where we had a camping that we would pay for, because we didn't want to pay for a place to sleep. But in
Mhm.
Prague, we knew it's a big city. We want to see it. We already saw it a couple times. There's a lot of party opportunities, and we actually found a nice camping that is on the river. So the river goes two ways, and then there's a little island in the middle with a camping spot,
Mhm.
and it was not very close to the city center, but walking distance, let's say 4 or 5 kilometers.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
yeah,
So in Czech Republic, your experience was very different from Germany, or it was a smooth transition from like one European country
yeah,
to another?
it was really different, yeah, for sure. Because first of all, we didn't speak the language at all, and the people didn't really speak English. So we did notice that it was really hard to communicate with the people there, and also they where the Germans were like a really happy, they were really like friendly and hospitable. The Czechs were like a little more, or they looked a little more like grumpy. Um, Also, the on the side of the road, we saw a lot of like little shops
Mhm.
selling, I don't know what to call them in English, but these like tiny little statues of swans and whatever. So it was really like a whole different culture. And also, yeah, it was the nature started changing a little bit. But yeah, it was nice to be in Czech Republic. Personally, I liked Germany a little more, and afterwards we went into uh, Slovakia, which I also liked a lot. Um, but yeah, we had a really, really good time in Prague. We saw a lot of cool. Well, we didn't really visit the city that much, but we did experience the nightlife quite a bit. And yeah, we went swimming in the river. It was a nice time in Czech Republic for sure.
So, what about cycling tracks? Do they also have a good cycling culture in Czech Republic?
Well, it's a good cycling country, but it's not like Germany that it's all like pre marked, and it's all like really clear what you can do and where you can go. Um, The roads were okay, a little less okay than they were in Germany, but yeah, it was okay to cycle. I think all of Europe, every country in Europe that we've been through at least, has roads that are definitely worth doing on a bicycle. It's as soon as you leave Europe, go towards Central Asia and Eastern Asia, that they don't really like think about where you can cycle or where you can't cycle. They just do it. So yeah.
Okay. Then from the Czech Republic, you entered which country next?
Well, after Czech Republic, we went into Slovakia, which is a really nice country as well. We went pretty much straight south. So we went to Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia. And then we actually passed through quite quickly. So we cycled the border between Slovakia and Austria on the Slovakian side. We saw Bratislava for a day, and then we continued into Hungary. So I think in total, maybe a week or something in Slovakia. It was nice there. Not that different from Czech Republic, although the nature was a little different. But that's, yeah, if you start going south or north or east or west, you'll always like see changes in the nature. And then after Slovakia, we entered Hungary because we wanted to go to the Balaton Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, we wanted to go towards Budapest, but then we saw, since we were already so much west and we wanted to go to Croatia, that it would be a lot of detour. So we went straight to the Balaton Lake, which we expected to be this like beautiful, crystal clear water, but it wasn't. It was quite touristy. The water was very shallow and not that clean. So we looked into our registers and actually saw that there was a festival in Croatia, and that if we cycled about 120 kilometers every day for a week and a half, that we would be at the festival in time to do it. So we knew there was a goal. Oli was the one who really wanted to go to the festival. And then we were like, okay, we see a little bit of Hungary, but we're going to go through this at a fast pace because we wanted to have a festival in the summer.
Okay. So anything interesting that you would like to share, like while you were in Czech Republic and Slovakia and Hungary, something distinct that you experienced while on bicycle, or any interesting event that you would like to share? I know there are many in your book, but
yeah, I think most of it is in the book. Exactly. I really liked Bratislava as a city, and the nice thing about it, I thought, was that you could see across the river, and on the other side of the river it would be Austria. So it's a natural border, and Vienna is very close to that as well. So I think it's a really nice city, actually, Bratislava.
Yeah,
it was very hard to find.
And particularly cycling on the borders of Austria, and that must be very scenic and beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but we tried to stay away from the higher grounds. So because it's a river there, the Donau goes there. It was nice to have like water to cycle next to, because it usually didn't go too much up and down, so we could progress fast enough.
Okay. So, and by now you had also had some elevations done, or no? You were still on the flat roads?
Definitely. We had some elevation done for sure. In Czech Republic, in Slovakia, and in Hungary, there were quite a bit of hills up and down. But nothing like too crazy. I think the first real like mountains that we had to climb up for a long time was somewhere in like Montenegro. It was the first time I can remember, at least. In Slovakia and Hungary, Oh no, yeah. After Hungary was the first real mountain, yeah, because we had to enter Croatia, and it was like a really long climb up, 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 and then it was flat for a while, and then we had this beautiful descent, like a beautiful where we could see the sea. Yeah, it was really nice.
Okay, thank you very much. And in the next episode, we will hear from you all the stories of climbing up the mountains. Now, the real uphill journey will start. So, and also the festival in Croatia that you are talking about. So, till then, goodbye. See you in the next episode.
Goodbye.